Kekkai Sensen Season 2 is a continuation of the anime Season 1, which previously told of a young photographer who is a member of the Libra organization. The organization is tasked with defeating criminals to protect the world's population. In this second season, we will focus more on the problems of the members of the Libra organization. Before we discuss further about the anime, we will briefly explain who the characters in this anime are. The first is Leonardo Watch, a teenage boy who has special powers who is the main character of this anime. Leo has a younger sister named Michelle Watch. Then there is Klaus von Reiners, the werewolf who is the leader of the Libra organization. Other members of the Libra organization are Zop Renfro, Chain Sumeragi, kekkai, Zed O'Brien, Gilbert Altstein, Steven Starface, and Luciana. The Libra organization is made up of talented people who have special abilities to fight crime and protect New York City residents from the threat of various supernatural beings. New York City at this time has changed its name to Hellsalem's Lot, because this city has become a meeting place for the human world with the spirit world since the portal of the supernatural world opened. Hellsalem's Lot is often visited by various supernatural creatures such as monsters, demons, ghouls, and magical creatures. In addition, some ordinary people have been close to the Libra organization, especially Leo, Mary Macbeth, known as White, and William Macbeth, known as Black. Leo had fallen in love with White, but White had died as a result of being killed by a criminal who had magical powers. While Black is still alive, however, his whereabouts are still unknown. Kekkai Sensen Season 2 begins by showing Leo, who is on patrol around Hellsalem's Lot City as usual with members of the Libra organization. The city of Hellsalem's Lot is often a place where crime and chaos occur, so it is not surprising that there are many explosions or fires at various points in the city. Moreover, since the city of Hellsalem's Lot is inhabited by many creatures, the intensity of damage and chaos that may occur is even higher. That morning, an invasion from outer space by a group of aliens made the residents, including Leo, thrown into the air and fell freely. Fortunately, Zop quickly helped Leo with his bloodbending powers. It turns out that the mastermind behind all these incidents is Femt, who has been the mortal enemy of the Libra organization. Even though the chaos created by Femt and his army is quite severe, the Libra organization is still trying to defeat them and control the situation. The battle between members of the Libra organization and the Femt group was very intense and epic. When monsters surround all Libra members, Klaus, the Libra organization's leader, shows his overpowering so that they can defeat Femt's troops. On the next day, Leo wants to enjoy his day off by playing video games, but Zop and Zed suddenly threw a suitcase into his room. It turns out that Zop and Zed are being chased by monsters who are hunting for the suitcase. When the suitcase was opened, Leo looked surprised because he found the human head of the US ambassador to the president named Franz Ackerman. Meanwhile, the body of Franz Ackerman was in the city hall office with Klaus and Steven. Leo was then assigned to take Franz's head to a safer place. Leo had difficulty getting to the destination because the city was very chaotic due to the criminals who were fighting. Luckily, the other Libra members also escorted Leo so that Leo could arrive at the town hall in the evening. Arriving at the town hall, Leo finds Klaus and Steven being held hostage by a man and his monster. When the man was off guard, Klaus and Steven quickly slaughtered them with Steven's ice control abilities and Klaus' super strength, so the Libra organization successfully completed its mission to save Franz Ackerman. On the other hand, Zop was seriously injured and in critical condition from the previous fight. Unfortunately, the city hospital is fully occupied and Libra organization members must find another hospital to save Zop. Shortly after, they find a mysterious hospital suddenly appearing on the edge of town. Leo, who had no other choice, immediately took Zop to the hospital. A woman named Luciana Esteves appears and introduces herself as one of the doctors at the hospital. The hospital immediately treated Zop in the emergency room while the other Libra members waited in the waiting room. Shortly after, two terrible monsters suddenly appeared and attacked the hospital, so Klaus and Steven immediately fought them. But the monster was too strong to be able to make part of the hospital building collapse and almost fell on Klaus and Steven. But suddenly the great disaster was stopped by the old man of Black and White who has the ability to create a barrier with magic power. After that, Klaus, Steven, and Leo immediately went to the hospital to check the situation. They seemed surprised after learning that Luciana could multiply herself into such a large number. Luciana even had the magical ability to defeat the dog monster that had previously attacked the hospital. At the same time, the other members of Libra, including Leo, unite their powers to conquer other monsters and lock them into an otherworldly prison. One day, Leo was robbed by a large group of thugs, and all his money was forcibly taken. Leo couldn't fight the thugs because he didn't want to use his god eye abilities against humans. That's why he bought an electric stun device to defeat them. But because Leo still had doubts, he was beaten again by the thugs. Fortunately, Chain came and helped him to defeat the thugs. Chain also chose not to use violence, but instead challenged the robbers to drink alcohol until they were drunk. The thug immediately fell unconscious after drinking the alcohol so Chain could reclaim Leo's wallet. On the other hand, Zop, who has recovered, is seen having fun with a woman in a bedroom. Shortly after that, Chain approached Zop and took him because her beloved cat had been lost due to Zop's previous actions. Chain then forces Zop to find the cat before midnight, and if he fails, Chain will detonate his favorite weapon. Zop immediately went to Leo and asked him to help find the cat. Elsewhere, Steven is having a party and dinner with his friends at his house. But in the middle of the party, all his guests and friends suddenly surrounded him and pointed guns at him. Luckily, Steven was able to stop them with his ice-freezing powers easily. While Steven was relaxing, his housekeeper found a stray cat. It turns out the cat is the cat that Zop and Leo are looking for, so they immediately went to Steven's place and picked up the cat. Thus, Zop can save his favorite weapon. The following night, Chain and the rest of the werewolf squad are assigned to kill a general named Ganon. But the funny thing is that the shots from the entire werewolf army were missed and they failed to kill General Ganon. The werewolf leader looked annoyed by this. Fortunately, they managed to gather important information from the general. The following night, the werewolf troop again got a new mission. In this mission, they are asked to stop a missile that will be launched at their city. The entire werewolf squad immediately headed into the control room, which was located deep below ground level. Fortunately, werewolves can move through objects so they can easily get past all obstacles. Upon arriving at the control room, Chain and the others are suddenly attacked by a former werewolf member who has now become a traitor named Velvet. Luckily, Chain managed to escape and was able to counterattack her. After successfully defeating Velvet, they immediately stopped the missile explosion. On the next day, Gilbert, who was a servant at the Library Organization headquarters, was suddenly attacked by a flying fish monster. So for the time being, Gilbert's job was replaced by a man named Philip Lenore. Philip is very agile and adapts quickly, so the Libra members seem happy about it. A few days later, Gilbert realized that Philip's recent behavior seemed suspicious. It turns out that Philip's brain has been controlled by a group of monsters who want to steal information from the Libra organization. Gilbert, who realized that Philip was under someone's control, immediately informed the other Libra members. Leo then uses his divine eye ability to track down the whereabouts of Philip's real brain. After finding the location, Leo and the others immediately headed for the place. Gilbert, who felt angry with the monsters, immediately slaughtered them all with a car that had been previously modified into a weaponized car. They were finally able to reclaim Philip's original brain. Philip was able to recover quickly after surgery because he could regenerate quickly. After that, Philip resigned as a servant of the Libra organization because the profession was too dangerous for him. One day, Libra's base was invaded by a mosquito monster and activated the headquarters building's security system. As a result, all Libra members cannot enter and attack the monster. They then hired a reliable hacker to break into the building's security system. At the same time, a gigantic monster suddenly appeared and created destruction in the center of the city. Therefore, Libra members must immediately enter the headquarters to track the whereabouts of someone who controls the monster. With the help of Leo's divine eye ability, Klaus was able to find an opening to penetrate the headquarters building's security system. Klaus and Leo then climbed the building and climbed onto the roof to attack the mosquito monster. Klaus then beats the monster and locks it using the power of his sealing blood. After discovering the existence of a criminal group that controls a giant monster, Steven and the others immediately fight the group and they finally manage to save the city. The following night, a woman orders a group of criminals to steal Zed's breathing apparatus forcibly. As a result, Zed has difficulty breathing and falls unconscious. Luckily, the other Libra members could find Zed in time and took him straight to the aquarium. Leo and the others immediately searched for the criminals who had attacked Zed and stolen his breathing apparatus. Leo managed to track down the woman using the power of his god eye, and they headed straight for it. Libra members then divide their respective duties. Zop will defeat the guards and distract, while Chain will take back Zed's breathing apparatus. In no time, they defeated the criminal and returned the breathing apparatus to Zed. One night when Leo accidentally hit a small robot from the sky, the little robot confessed that he was looking for a monster named Game Nemo which could spread a dangerous virus that can make a person stronger and uncontrollable. On the other hand, Game Nemo approached a member of Libra named Real. Real, who is the weakest member of the Libra organization, asks Game Nemo to turn him into a stronger one. Since acquiring the virus from Game Nemo, Real has become more muscular and stronger than before. However, Real became so big and uncontrollable that he created havoc in the city's center. Therefore, Klaus tried to stop Real from harming more people. However, the more Real's body took a hit, the bigger Real's body became. When Real's body has turned into a giant, Game Nemo tries to incite him to destroy the entire city. But Real refused because it was not what he wanted. On the contrary, he wanted to be able to go back to enjoying peaceful days with Leo. Shortly after that, Leo and a white monkey named Sonic tried to get close to Real's body and infiltrate his body. Sonic then attacks Game Nemo, who is trying to control Real. After defeating Game Nemo, Real fell into the eternal abyss and the city of Helsalem's lot was saved again. The following day, Zop grumbled to Chain, who had not previously fought against Real and was instead busy drinking until she was drunk. On the other hand, Leo found that Real was still alive but his body had turned tiny. Then one day, Leo contacted his younger sister, Michela. Leo was shocked to find out that Michela was engaged and about to marry someone. She then said that she would go to Helsalem's lot to meet Leo and introduce her fiancé to him. Even though it feels heavy, Leo tries to stay calm and asks the other Libra members to protect his meeting with his sister. After Michela and her fiancé Toby arrived, Leo immediately greeted and hugged Michela. Shortly after, Leo realized that an invisible monster was controlling Toby. But strangely, the other Libra members can't see it, and the only person who can see it is Leo. The invisible monster named Dr. Gummimozu also has the divine eye ability like Leo. Gummimozu seemed to be aiming for one of Leo's eyes and even asked him for it directly. In exchange, Gummimozu will heal Michela from paralysis. But Leo refused the offer because he still didn't know the consequences of the decision. Since that day, Gummimozu has always watched and followed Leo everywhere because he still really wanted the divine eye ability of Leo's eyes. Leo kept thinking of ways to escape Gummimozu's surveillance. Klaus, who realized that Leo was in danger, immediately looked for him with the other Libra members. On the other hand, Leo was at the hotel where Michela was. When entering Michela's room, Leo suddenly entered into an illusion world where Michela was trapped in it. As a result, Leo felt very angry and immediately attacked Gummimozu. He tried to beat Gummimozu with all his might until Gummimozu almost took his god eye. Not long after, Michela woke up from her sleep and immediately held Gummimozu with her body. At the same time, Leo swiftly attacked Gummimozu with his god eye's remaining strength and power. At the last minute, the other Libra members had arrived, so they immediately saved Leo and defeated Gummimozu. Due to very severe injuries, Leo was hospitalized for several days. After Leo woke up, he saw that his little sister was beside him and that no monster controlled Toby. Now the lives of Leo and other Libra members have returned to normal as usual. This anime teaches us to be able to surround ourselves with people who are supportive and always help us when we are in difficult times.